And Father, Mother God, I pray that you help me flow through this. Ashe. So in the beginning of your spiritual journey, two things are going to happen. They have to happen. That is the only way you really can reconnect with God. Your wake-up call and your spiritual awakening. Those are two different experiences. They can happen at the same time. They can happen simultaneously. They can happen at a certain season in your life. But in this video, I want to identify different types of wake-up calls and different types of spiritual awakenings. And you leave in the comment if this is happening to you or not. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Vanessa Safel, healing artist, and you are tuned into Always Healing. Always Healing is a series about my spiritual journey and the things that came about along this long vibrational experience. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am very colorful, so I put everything in different categories. So click around and see what resonates with you and what doesn't. It's okay. I have a whole lot to share. If you keep coming back to my channel, definitely leave a comment and click subscribe. I want to know that I can see you and hear you watching my videos. And if there's a topic that you're interested in, let me know. With that being said, let's begin. So a wake-up call is going to wake you up. That's why it's called a wake-up call. When we are on our journeys of life, we forget that God is omniscient. God is omnipresent. God is omnipotent. We literally can live a whole worldly experience because we have free will. But those wake-up calls definitely put us in this interesting space. The first one is the near-death experience. A near-death experience. Your death. You got in an accident. For some reason, you ended up in the hospital. You woke up in the hospital. You don't remember what happened. A near-death experience is like the most extreme wake-up call. How you got into that hospital is a miracle, right? Because you're still alive. You're still alive. So now you have to question God, like, what just happened? And in that silence, because some of y'all have to stay in the hospital for a long period of time, and you have to think, and you got to pray, and you need people praying for your life. You have to go back and think about, how did you get to that point? What were you doing in your lifestyle? Who were you around? Now you don't trust nobody. You have to think about that. What is attracting this near-death experience? Maybe you almost slip and fell and you broke something. Yeah, accidents happen for a reason. When those accidents happen, you have to pay attention to your life. So most people have midlife crises where you low-key want to commit suicide. That's a wake-up call too. The act of committing suicide is your soul saying it no longer wants to deal with the circumstance. So listen to that wake-up call. Why did you want to kill yourself? What environment, what situation brought you to that point? You have to stop it. Another midlife crisis that occurs, that I see people go through, is when you got a lot of enemies around you. Everybody's against you. That's a crisis. You can't trust nobody. That's a wake-up call and a crisis, and you need to pay attention. Another crisis that happens in our life is when family members and our close friends die. Now, death is inevitable. We all are going to die one day. But There's a difference between the natural causes of death and a dramatic way of dying. And when you got family and friends dying around you, that's a wake-up call. You have to pay attention to your life. What are you doing? What is the lifestyle that you're living that's basically no longer serving you? If this was your protection unit, if this was the people that you kept close to you and everybody dying, there's TV shows like Power right now. There's old throwback movies like Belly, you know what I'm saying? Scarface. That is a wake-up call. Another wake-up call is chronic health illnesses. So we all have health issues. Eventually we do. The body breaks down. But some of us experience chronic health issues where it's either permanent or it keeps getting worse. Now, as you start paying attention to this wake-up call, you may want to look up, what does that really mean? Because our body, our temple, is literally the leading force of our life. We need it to function. And when we're almost to the point of death, we have to question, what in my body no longer serves me? Is it what I'm eating? Is it the environment that I'm around? Is it the people that I'm around? But now I have this chronic illness. And wherever it is on your body, it's connected to a chakra. You should look up what chakra is next to that illness. That's how you know that that chakra is like alarming you. We are in trouble. Rock bottom. Rock bottom is definitely a wake-up call. Nobody dealing with you no more. Nobody calling you, nobody checking on you. It's just you and this awkward silence. Or your rock bottom could be you moving around from here to there to there to there to homeless. You're homeless. That is a wake-up call. It's time for you to decide what environment is for you. When you are reaching a level of homelessness in your mind, there's multiple things happening. You could be dealing with a chronic health issue, a chronic mental health issue, and you're not addressing it, you're not getting it diagnosed. You need to identify what's wrong with you. You got to get some help. Because homelessness, there's no excuse for it. But most people that end up out on the street, it's because of the behavioral patterns that they're dealing with. And we're in 2022. There's no excuse to not go get help. I know that in the Black community, we still have a long way to go to create systems that are self-sufficient and community-oriented to help our Black people not reach rock bottom. There's ministries still to be had. There's homes to be built, shelters to be built, rehabilitation centers that need to be built holistically, where it works for our culture. Another rock bottom is one that I can relate to, is when you start seeing the devil. When you start seeing dark entities, they appear in certain spaces, whether they're on you, they're in that corner of your house, they're always sitting on top of your car, they're always sitting in the back seat of your car. Entities sit there, and their energy is very dense. It's very devilish. It feels scary. Your whole body actually may go into an anxiety attack because you feel those demons haunting you. That is a rock bottom. You have to return to God. Now, like I always say, you don't have to be religious, but going to church is okay, because sometimes people in the church are there to save you, and they keep their energy safe by staying in the church. But we're not going to talk about the other side of church anyways. So if you see these dark entities, you need someone to read you. When I had my wake-up call, and you guys will learn that at the end of this video, I needed a psychic medium to read me. I needed someone that knows how to read energy to see what was this attachment, what was this dark entity that kept bringing other dark entities around me. The devil will show up at any time. And the devil loves to give you what you want. But when your whole body is scared and shaken, when your mind is paranoid, there's a new life to begin. Suffering. We all, as humans, go through life and we reach levels of suffering. Suffering is prolonged pain, despair, and prolonged hurt. It starts out with regret, resentment, and we hold on to it. And now we're suffering. Now we're always talking negative. Now we're always complaining. You're suffering. Remember when we were innocent, before life took a toll on our bodies, on our minds, on our souls? We would just play outside. Family loves us. There were moments in life where there was no suffering. Your wake-up calls come in these different ways. And you have to decide, when will you wake up completely and surrender your life to spirit, to your spiritual journey, to soul searching? All of us are designed by God. We were a creation, a divine expression of God. And so when we go too far astray, we have these wake-up calls alerting us like, hey, that's the wrong way. Don't go that way. Hey, it's the wrong way. Don't go that way. Your wake-up calls are there for a reason. God's grace and mercy helps you find your way home. Let's talk about these spiritual awakenings. So your spiritual awakenings can happen while the wake-up calls are happening. I always say, if you have somebody in your family that prays and they praying for you, them spiritual awakenings will show up right on time. God is good. Miracles happen. Literally. But here are 5 examples of spiritual awakenings that I think could help you see if you're okay. The first one is when your ego transcends, is yearning to transcend. All of a sudden, you don't want to deal with no more drama. No more of this, no more of that. You start cutting off people, cutting off situations, cutting off bad habits, eating better. You want to start taking care of yourself. The ego is letting go and wants to transcend. You start creating boundaries for yourself. That is good. You're awakening. You're having an awakening. That is exciting. No more. And you got to keep God first, because the devil always will try to remind you of what you could have. That's just how the game goes. Pay attention to your life. Another spiritual awakening that's very cool is that God starts showing itself. Is God female? Is God male? It's really up to you. It's really what God is showing you. But it comes in these unique forms of synchronicities. Like you start seeing numbers, all those angel numbers. You start seeing like the weather do certain things, like heaven opens up in the sky. You see words written out for you. You find like feathers on the ground from angels. Like you see glimpses of God. Those are spiritual awakenings. God is present. God is omnipresent. And that is a beautiful force that you should keep seeking. You should keep following. What are these beautiful things that God is trying to show me? Maybe it's as simple as you meet a beautiful person. You down and out, you hate your life, you hate this and that, and this angel appears in a human form. And she talks to you, he talks to you. And they try their best to bring you back to God, to let you know that you don't have to continue living that certain lifestyle that keeps keeping you out of balance. You don't have to. Glimpse of God. I fell in love with it. I said, what is this? Because it was coming from every direction for me. Because I had different people praying for me. Even when I thought people were not, God showed me that they were. The infinite soul begins to reveal itself. Wow. You start having visions and dreams of like heaven on earth, really. You start seeing like your soul purpose. You tap into like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. You get confirmations from people. You don't even know these people. They just telling you. They're feeding you your light. And it's beautiful. And for the first time, you actually can make sense of, oh, okay, I know a little bit more of my purpose in life and why God put me on this earth. The universe starts moving around for you. That is wonderful. That is divine. Another spiritual awakening, this one usually happens really close as your wake-up calls are happening. So you could be going through your wake-up call. So say you're going through a car accident, okay? Everything's moving in slow motion. And you literally see your life flash before you. And it may warp to like the light of you. Like either the angels carrying you or everybody's story is really different and beautiful. But there's this light energy that comes through and it shows you revelation. Now, like I said, I don't go to church, but I was raised in the church. And revelation, the meaning of that word is still prevalent to anything. We all will experience our book of Revelation. And hopefully you write your stories just like the book of Revelations. This journey that I'm on, where I'm sharing, it's like a couple of books in the Bible. But it's my version. But the revelations are just so unreal. They happen so fast. It's like, how do I tell these stories? And God was like, wait until it's your season. And then you can write as many stories as you want. Well, I've been writing, y'all. And I love these revelations. Even being able to create this video is a revelation for me. The other spiritual awakening that it works. There's no religion with it. This is just that's how it works. Peace. Peace. A lot of us wake up with a lot on our mind. We walk in the house, there's a lot going on. But spiritually, God always will give you peace. And that's how you know God is right there. You have an opportunity to just have stillness in your life. You should really take heed of that. Give thanks for that. Thank you, God, for this moment of peace in my life. Me, when I started noticing peace in my life, I was like, how can I get some more? How can I stretch it? And God was like, I'll show you. Ask God how to have more peace in your life. Because that awakening allows you to really see your world, the earth that you live in, and how to position yourself to go higher in your vibrations. Go higher. Because even when the people try to tear you down, people try to kill you, people try to set you up, you locked up, that peace of mind is the most powerful force and the most powerful practice that you'll ever experience. It is. Well, Now you see the difference between a wake-up call and a spiritual awakening. What happens next? What happens next? The first thing that I recommend people to do when they're having either or happening is to pray. If you're going through something that is detrimental to your life, then you should pray for help. My best prayer that I always tell people that are not spiritual yet or forgot how to be spiritual, God help me. God help me. Call on to God and ask him to help you, and God will help you. And if you've been a good person, God will help you real quick. Can't nobody take that from you. Be a good person and God will help you. The other thing I suggest, and the other thing that I help people try to find, is their spiritual home. Where is home? Sometimes it's as simple as going to grandma's house. Or sometimes it's as deep as going to church. And it's not just any church. It may be a certain type of church. Maybe the one you grew up in. Maybe the one that this random person told you about 2 months ago. And you just thought about it. But where's your spiritual home? Because you're going to need support along your journey. You're going to need a village around you while you're healing. You can't do it by yourself. Healing is not something you do alone. It is not. You have moments where you're alone, but you need life to support you. But you need high vibrational forces to support you. People that have already been on that journey. People that already have gone through stuff. That's why I love elders. I love talking to elders. I love going home and talking to somebody older than me. That feels good. And sometimes it's not my own family. Sometimes it's somebody at a church I used to go to. Sometimes it's somebody in the neighborhood. But you need home. You need somewhere where you can relax, rest, reset, especially after something traumatic like a wake-up call or something weird like a spiritual awakening, because it happens really fast. It's like, what is this? So pray. Get your spiritual home. And it's time for some reasoning. You need to find either a psychic medium or a spiritual mother, a spiritual father. Usually these people are in high spiritual levels of themselves. So it could be like a pastor, pastor's wife, evangelist. It could be a shaman. It could be somebody that takes care of plants, a plant mom, a plant dad. They spend time in nature. And you want it to be someone that you trust. You trust their energy. You got to use your gut sense. Like, I trust this person. Or I've watched what this person does. So I'm going to keep clicking on that YouTube video because they be talking about spirituality all the time. I just wasn't ready yet. But now I'm ready to listen. There's tools and resources for you on your journey. And when it's time to keep going forward, when God says, are you ready? When you say yes, God literally will move around the world. And no matter where you're at, because people still will try to destroy you, because the devil don't want you to go to the light. The devil wants you to stay in your dark side. And you will eventually know what to do with the dark side of you. But for now, are you ready? God is ready for you. And you say yes. Some of y'all not ready though. Some of y'all hear this video, I ain't ready. I'm going to keep doing me. And it's okay. You just better hope somebody praying for you so you don't perish. I'll say it like that. Another midlife crisis that most people experience is these ambulances in Vegas. It's funny that the ambulance is going off in the background. It's been quiet all morning until just now.